Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming today on our AMA session. I'm really glad to see you all here. So let's do the same way like we did before. We have around 40 minutes of my presentation of the platform, of the upcoming updates of our roadmap and Spaceport. And then you can ask me anything you want. You can ask it in the Zoom chat, or you can ask it on YouTube channel. So I also read all these questions and we'll answer them after I finish my presentation. So yeah, I see a lot of people already here in the Zoom on YouTube. So yeah, let's start. So I want to start from saying thank you all for supporting the Plasma.Finance, the Plasma Pay, and our token. I think a lot of cool stuff is happening right now on the market. The Ethereum just did its new all-time high, and the whole ecosystem is super positive. Everything's growing, and we grow in all this crypto ecosystem. So let me start from just a bit overview about our current roadmap. I just updated yesterday. I want to share with you some information about upcoming features and something that I think you're all waiting for right now. So first of all, I want to start from, just from the top to the bottom. So let's go. I've updated and put some stealth DEX projects that we are working on right now. That will be a really huge project that we will release this month on Plasma.Finance. That will be much bigger than even the Spaceport and Plasma Swap and REST platform. Our team now is scaling in terms of development team pretty much, and we can take more products on board and develop more cool stuff for you. So we have this stealth DEX project. I hope we will release it in May. It's like 50, maybe 70% ready in terms of smart contracts and security audit. And that really will be a huge thing for the whole Plasma.Finance infrastructure. By the way, I'm reading everything you write in our community on Telegram and our Twitter. So I really appreciate any of your feedback on our roadmap, on our product, on the Spaceport, on anything. So we take everything that you write and put as if we can it on our roadmap and correct our product if it makes sense. So also this kind of new DEX projects that we are working on right now, as I said, that will be a huge update of whole DEX infrastructure in Plasma.Finance and will allow you to do a lot of stuff. Also, I know you're all waiting for limit orders. So we almost done with limit orders. Now we're testing this in the testnet of the Ethereum. So I hope we will finalize it fully with the front end this week, and we will announce and release it next week. So what you get with the limit orders. So first of all, limit orders will work with the Plasma Swap, our native AMM protocol. And also the limit orders will work with the Uniswap v2. So that means that any user who trade today on Uniswap v2, they will be able to utilize limit orders on top of Uniswap protocol. And in the future, when we aggregate the more DEXs, these limit orders will be available for all DEXs on the Plasma.Finance. That's a huge update also for Plasma Swap itself, because it will allow people really to put that limit orders, stop losses, and take profits on top of AMM. That's a fully decentralized infrastructure, and like anything about the backend, like on other platforms who provide maybe similar features. We're doing everything decentralized. So that's a bit challenging for us, but we do our best to build these cool features and products for our community and future users of Plasma.Finance. So the next small update, I think this is our Android Plasma Pay app. As you know, we don't have now Android app on production. So this week we finalize Android application and we will release it in the production, and any person with Android phones, they will be able to utilize this, and also connected to Plasma.Finance to interact with all these DeFi protocols on Plasma.Finance. So let's go to this stage. This is a new Plasma.Finance Rebalancer V2. So as you know, the Uniswap V3 will be released on the mainnet in upcoming days. So we already started working on this integration. And now we're building the Rebalancer protocol that will allow you to rebalance your liquidity between Uniswap V2 and Uniswap V3. So when the V3 will become live, people will be able to utilize Plasma.Finance to rebalance their liquidity in their pools on V2 and V3 plus Plasma Swap. So that's also a very cool feature for the community of Uniswap, and I hope they will support us with some of their partnership announcement. So next, as I said, the limit orders, they come in very, very soon. That will be the first update this month for our community and for our product. So stay tuned, it will be very soon, and we are very excited about this feature. So another Spaceport Ideal Launchpad, I know you heard a lot about this Launchpad. We started announce it around 1 month ago because it's really kind of challenging development. And I will tell you more about the Spaceport later this call. So now just updates of the roadmap. So what about the gas station and Hyperloop? So the more market developing now, the more projects coming live, the more challenging become the gas station game and Hyperloop game. So that means for us, we don't stop this development. Even we do a Spaceport, we don't stop in the development of the gas station and Hyperloop protocol, but we a little bit change the infrastructure because we see also some challenging with the updates of the blocks on the Ethereum, and they will update it a little bit also in upcoming future. So we a bit customize our gas station, and Hyperloop will be able to work with that. And with Hyperloop, we even go further with our concept because now the Hyperloop, before we just focused on the integration between Ethereum, Plasma DLT, and the Binance Smart Chain. But now, as you know, the Ethereum is coming to proof of stake, and also the whole infrastructure of layer 2 is developing pretty good. So now we start building the bridges from Hyperloop to layer 1 to layer 2 on the Ethereum. So that means that Plasma.Finance, when we launch the Hyperloop protocol, it will be also interacting with all dApps on the layer 2 on the Ethereum. So it will be also huge, and it will help the adoption of layer 2 solution. And as you know, different layer 2 solution, they provide you different features. Some of them is less gas, some of them is more anonymous for the users. So the Plasma.Finance will migrate with the most of the features on layer 2, and you will get also this super low gas fees with the transactions on Plasma Swap and using the different tools of Plasma.Finance itself. So the Plasma gas station and Hyperloop, because of this kind of challenging and some like complicated development, we're a bit delayed because we expect all it will be ready in Q2. So it means like we need to release it in next months. But as we have this all like hard development stage, I think all this Plasma gas station, Hyperloop, now we plan to go to production with these tools at the end of summer. But even we delaying these kind of main features and very expected features from our community, we fill in this gap with another very cool and big projects and protocols that we're releasing on the Plasma.Finance. So you will not have like empty space in all these months. We will provide you more and more features every month, and each of this feature or protocol will be huge for the whole community and Plasma.Finance adoption. So now let's talk a bit about the Spaceport. So maybe as you've seen, we publish on the CoinMarketCap an article about how to prepare your project for the IDO using the Plasma.Finance and the Spaceport. But now I want to talk more about the Spaceport concept itself and how revolution it is. The idea to start building a launchpad come to me around like 2.5, 3 months ago when I see the market growing around these IDO platforms. And I see a lot of opportunities also for the Plasma.Finance to participate in this game. So the major maybe goal of the Spaceport Launchpad is the adoption of Plasma.Finance infrastructure itself, because the Spaceport will be fully integrated with the Plasma.Finance, with the token page in the whole platform. And as you know, it's also will be integrated with the PPay and get a lot of incentive for the PPay community. So that's not like any other centralized IDO launchpads. This is the first decentralized launchpad platform. So it's built fully on the smart contracts and factory contracts, who will provide for the IDOs a lot of tools just building inside the contracts. So let's talk a bit more about the whole system and process of how this Spaceport Launchpad will work. So I saw a lot of questions about the first come, first serve model, about the allocation, about the kind of different models of having these IDOs on launchpads. So we, with our team, did a lot of research about successful and unsuccessful IDOs, about other launchpads, different types of smart contracts that can be fit to the IDO needs. And we currently came to the whole concept, how should looks like this fully decentralized launchpad. So everything you see now on this picture, on this model, this fully driven by smart contracts. There is no any centralization or any manual work. Everything that happened with the projects, with the IDO, and the following actions about the tokens, lockup, vesting, pools, etc. That's all managed by contracts. So let me explain how this process will look like. So for example, first of all, we will have two types of IDOs on the platforms. Self-made, that means that anyone, any project can launch their own IDO without our permission. They will have a building block, so they can put all the settings of this IDO in these building blocks and just deploy these contracts on chain. And Plasma.Finance will become an interface to this contract. And second part, this is a kind of our incubation program for the most solid and high quality IDO projects and cool protocols that we're gonna support with all our community, with our influencers and VCs that back Plasma.Finance today. So for these projects, we will mark them that these projects, they checked or approved by Plasma.Finance and supported by us. So you will see the difference between self-made and our own IDOs on the platform. So when the projects start their IDO, they put some of the allocation of their tokens for the public sale in the contract. And inside this contract, this is just one allocation. Let's say 100,000 tokens of the projects in the IDO. So in these allocations, then people who has XPPay, this is a stake PPay of 20,000 XPPay, they will have priority to buy this allocation from the market. And the people who doesn't have XPPay, they will have a less priority. So they follow the people, they're kind of second stage of public IDO. So if the XPPay holders wouldn't buy all the allocation, then it will be open for the public sale, and anyone without XPPay can buy the tokens. But as you know, this all IDO launchpads and IDO itself, that's a pretty high projects. So usually, even the good allocations, they all bought by mostly holders of token of this launchpad. So I expect that most of the allocation will be bought by XPPay holders. So again, XPP, they have just a first priority. This priority limited by time. If the time, for example, 10 minutes finished, then the public sale will be available for the no XPP holders. So they make this IDO, it's more democratized than any other platforms, because we also allow for the people who not having the PP token participate in the token sale. But on the next slides, I will show you how the whole platform will looks like and explain you more in details how it will work on the platform. So also on this stage, project can launch their own incentive programs like liquidity mining and staking on top of Plasma.Finance. So that means that all these products around the token will come all together after the IDO will be finished. And another interesting thing that another IDO launchpad platform doesn't have, this is how we vest and distribute the whole tokens after IDO. Let's say the IDO finished successfully. So then the investor's token will be always vested and locked. So in the Spaceport IDO, there will be only like a zero sell pressure after the IDO. That means that all tokens of the team, of the private investors, and even the public investors, they will be locked. So that will help the project, for the token, more like organic growth on the market, and protect from any dump, flippers, sell pressure, and anything else. So that will be only model of Spaceport, because as you know, all other projects, launchpad that allow for the public investors to get some of unvested and unlocked tokens, and a lot of these tokens people just dump on the same time when the projects go live on the DEX. And another beautiful thing is that the tokens and the funds that project collected through this smart contract, small percentage of these funds will go back to the PP holders as an incentive. So that means, for example, you spend some money on the gas, you participate in first come, first serve, and for example, you didn't get any allocations in this IDO, you still will get the rewards that going back to you as a PP holders from this successful IDO. So that's also the first model on the market when the IDO itself, the successful IDO, will incentivize the token holders, the XPP and PP token holders. Another small piece of token of each project will go to the governance protocol of PP. That means if we have 10, 20, 50 IDOs on the platforms in the next months, a small piece of each of these IDOs in tokens will be put on the governance contract, and the governance will decide what they want to do with these tokens in the future. So governance of PP, they will be able to decide to participate with these tokens in governance of other projects, or they just can hold it in the governance contract as just an index of all IDOs that happen on the Spaceport platform. There is many different use cases how the governance will be able to utilize this small percentage of each token of each IDO projects on the Spaceport. And another cool stuff that these smart contracts of the Spaceport IDO, it will automatically activate the trading pool on Plasma Swap. So this may be the main goal of having all this Spaceport infrastructure, because all this raised funds, all this community of other token holders and projects, they will go and trade this token not on Uniswap, but on the Plasma Swap. So this will be like necessary for any tokens, because this just building inside the contracts. So contract will automatically open the pool on Plasma Swap after the successful IDO, and these LPs, they're not going to the team of the project. All these LPs also will go to the vesting contract. That means that there is no chance of any kind of rug pools. So project raise funds go to the liquidity pools and locked also. Investors, public investors, their tokens locked and vested by some amount of time. Maybe it's weeks or months. It will be decided by the projects. But that means that you have a pool. Pool is locked. The sell pressure is zero. The PPA holders get the incentive, and all this working in the decentralized way without any centralization, manual work, and anything else. And this is how the Spaceport platform will work in the whole model. So let's go and look on the UI of Spaceport. You will be maybe the first people, the first part of our community who will see the Spaceport, how it will looks like and how it will works. But let's start from Plasma.Finance. A small update. Maybe you've seen that we released a small update about the Launchpad Alliance. So now also we're trying to adopt the platform for the more people, more community, more user cases, just to attract more traders on Plasma.Finance. So now on the Launchpad Alliance, you can see all the major launchpads and their upcoming and their past projects. And also for you, we calculate all the necessary KPI and numbers of each token and each launchpad itself. So you can see what the total percentage of raised funds on these platforms, what the ROI of these platforms, and you can compare which of them is more successful and less. And you can see also all the traction of the platforms and their IDOs. And you can just analyze which of them was more and less successful and what the model of success. So me and my team, we did a huge analytic job on all type of IDOs and IDO platforms. And you could be sure that the model that we implement in the Spaceport, it's like a more optimal to provide all these features together and make each IDO on the Spaceport is super successful. So now let's jump and look at the on the platform itself. So I share with you our Figma UI file and explain how it will look like. So this is a Spaceport Launchpad dashboard where you can see the live IDOs upcoming and completed. So let's stop and talk a bit about the information that you can have here on the, let's say, the upcoming IDOs. So first of all, you will see what the token, the project raising for the IDO, what the IDO price and what the ticket price for the participating in the private round for XP Pay. So also you will see the rounds, when it will start, when it will finish, when the whole IDO starts and finished. And you will see what the market will be opened on which swap. So now we will utilize only Plasma swap. So all the IDOs will go on the Plasma swap. So that will grow the whole liquidity of Plasma swap. And as you know, the fees from the trading also goes to the PPA holder. So that means the growing the launchpad, the more IDOs, the more pools on the Plasma swap, the more trading volume and more incentive for PPA holders. So that's all connected together. So also we implement in the IDO platforms something like soft cap and hard cap because it's fully decentralized system. So people who invest in the IDOs, the kind of voting, is it like good idea or not? So if the project raised at least soft cap, it's around 50% of their public sale, then the IDO will mark as a successful and the contract will launch the pools. But if the IDO didn't raise soft cap, for example, some of self-made IDO launched their fundraising and people decide that it's not good IDO and not good project and they don't want to invest in this project. So if the project doesn't meet the soft cap requirements, then the contract will mark this IDO as a failed, as an unsuccessful, and all money that was invested in this IDO will be returned back to the investors. So that also means that even the IDO, for example, raised the hard cap, but there is like some triggers in the contract that can mark IDO still a scam IDO. And then even with a hard cap, some of IDOs can be failed, and all the money will be returned to the investors. So during the whole IDO process, the investors will be protected. So if the project is not good, high quality project, not the solid one, and it's self-made it, so the market decide by itself, should you give them the money or invest in this project or not? And if the project doesn't raise money, then it's failed and money will be returned back to the investors. So you will just claim this money back. So also on this timeline, on this like raising line, you will see what the percentage of all raise will be sent to the DEX liquidity. So that means, for example, for this project, this is just for the design, the 20% of all raised funds will be go to the trading pool on Plasma Swap. Yeah, and again, if this IDO was successful, unsuccessful, you will see all this information also here as a past IDO. So this is the first page of like general information around the IDOs. The second page, it's what's happening inside the IDO. So each the token page that you have now on Plasma.Finance will have the IDO tab. So that means that they have also another tabs, trade, when you can see the different pools and choose, do you want to trade on Uniswap, on Plasma Swap, DeFi products, if this project has anything like liquidity, mining or staking, analytics, community information, and etc. But also for IDO project, we implement this IDO tab. And under IDO tab, this is the page of upcoming IDO. So on this page, you will be able to analyze the tokenomics of this IDO and this project. So you will see the allocation. You also will be able to analyze the whole circulation supply. So we grab this information also from the smart contracts. So I think you've never seen it on other platforms because it's usually the hidden information, but we just put it on this platform because we can take this information from the decentralized source and show to the community and to the investors. So this is a page before the IDO or kind of upcoming IDO. And here you can just put this IDO on your calendar, also schedule it on your Google Calendar. So on this bottom side of the page, you will also see the information about the tokenomics of IDO and tokenomics of project. So all this information we also took from the smart contract. There is nothing that provided from the project beside the price of IDO. So everything else is already packed in the smart contract. And you will see your IDO investor lockup if you have it, or if you have just vesting schedule or vesting period, you will see how many days your token will be vested. And also the same for the liquidity, because the liquidity that goes on the Plasma Swap, it's also locked for the project. So you will see how many days this liquidity will be locked or vested for the project itself. So when the yeah, you can write your question in the chat. So not forget, ask me anything about this UI. So when the IDO starts, you will see the information and you can just approve and buy. This token depends of the currency that project raise. You need to approve this contract, or if they raise in the Ethereum, you need just to buy this token. And also we will show you the whole IDO chart. For example, if some of the project having the very heavy fundraising for some $1 million and they fundraise this money for example, a week. So you will see how they raise this money during this week, and you will see how fast or how slow they're raising this money, how much somebody invests in this project, and all this information on this chart. Also, another important thing about the IDO that each investor will have a maximum investment. So that means that nobody can buy like 100% of allocation. And I think like each project will set their own maximum investment per person. And you will also see how much you can invest, like 50% of this maximum allocation for you or 100%. And yeah, another cool thing that in this platform, we also integrate the whitelist. So the project can decide whether they want to have the whitelist or whether they don't want to have it. So if they have a whitelist, they whitelist this people by themselves, and they provide us kind of list of all addresses of the wallets, and we whitelist these addresses in the smart contract. So that's also whitelisted by smart contract. So some of the project will have a social allocation. That means that this is kind of guarantee allocation for the people who doing some memes or some videos or any other marketing activities for the project. They will have ability to participate in lottery for social allocation. This kind will be a guaranteed allocation for example, 100 people with a small amount of allocation, but it will be guaranteed, and it will be a lottery system managed by the project. So this will be off-chain system. So then, as I said, 2 rounds. So if the PP holders purchase all the allocation, then the second round of public will not be happen, and then just the contract will launch this pool on the Plasma swap, and you will be able to trade. Let's say you participate in the small allocation, small IDO, and you didn't get any allocation. So you failed with investment. So you can directly go on the same moment on the DEX, and while the token just launched, you will be able to be the first who buy at the bottom price of this token and get like a 0 vesting and lockup for your investment. And then, as I said, if this project, for example, if this project completed successfully, then you have your vesting schedule lockup in some ways. So these 2 types of data, it will be provided by the project itself. So project to project, it will be different vesting periods and lockups. For some of them, it can be days. For some, can be months. So it will be decided by the project itself. But you will be able to claim your tokens directly on the platform. So you don't need to go on the website of the project or somewhere else. You just claim it on this token page of the project and go to trade it right away here. And also in your portfolio system on the Plasma.Finance, you will have your ticket information. And if it's locked, you will track all the information about the lockup time and etc. So you will see when you can claim these tokens and when they will be unlocked directly in your portfolio system on the Plasma.Finance. And if the IDO failed by different reasons, or it's a scam, or they not raised and meet their soft cap, then you just can return the investment that you made in this project. So you also protected and not losing your money in this case. So yeah, and if you're not invested in the project and it's failed, you just see all this information about the IDO project and when they had this IDO on the platform. So let's summarize. This whole platform of Spaceport, it's not just a separate project. It's a big part of Plasma.Finance infrastructure. And the main goal to bring more project, more IDOs on the platform with the community of these projects, and put all this liquidity and trading volume on Plasma Swap to incentivize the PP holder in our community. So this is a big plan. And also about the Spaceport, now we're backed by many different very high quality funds, tier 1 and tier 2. So that funds also will bring their projects on the Spaceport for the public launch and the launch of their token on the Plasma Swap. So we're also thinking about the collaboration with Binance Smart Chain and the launchpad on BCS, just to have a dual IDOs for the project who wanna launch their token on the both project on the both platforms. And our major position as a Spaceport is to become a coin list for DeFi. That means that our due diligence process will be like pretty complicated for the project, and we will pass only the high quality and solid project on the platform that marked by like approved by Plasma.Finance. So that means that we have not many ideas, not like every day or every week. We plan to have an 3, maximum maybe 4 ideas supported by Plasma.Finance per month. But we will guarantee that we did a huge due diligence on each of this project, and each of this project is backed by best influencers on the market and best VCs and funds. So that's how we want to also create some like quality system on chain now for the whole launchpad market. So that's a whole story about what we doing right now, building, and our upcoming updates. So the first one will be very soon, very soon, limit orders. Then I think in around week we will start announcing our first IDOs on the Spaceport. As I said, the first few will be super solid and high quality projects that already on the market, and they already, all of them having a huge community and revenue, and they go into the kind of economic model of their platform, and they will choose the Spaceport as a major platform for the launch. So now I'm happy to answer all your questions in the Zoom or maybe from the YouTube. So if you want to ask some of the questions by voice, just raise your hands and I give you a chance to ask me this question, or I just can read it because I see a lot of questions on Zoom chat. So let me read one by one. Suggestions: liquidity providing for launchpad. Can you make round 1 participate requirement to be just 20K XP pay, but also an option for folks who provide LPs? Yeah. So in terms of some details about the tokens that project will raise on the platform. So basically now we will provide ability for the projects to choose which token they want to raise on the platform. And the first tokens will be Ethereum, USDT, USDC, DAI, and PPay. So also the project can launch the fundraising in PPay token, and you as a PPay holders, if you decide, you can invest the token in the project. So about the LPs, it's not really possible because the idea of having the XPPay in that case that you will be rewarded back by successful IDO on the platform. So that's only possible if you hold in the XPPay, a part of the whole stake on our infrastructure. So then you will be rewarded by the successful IDO. You will be rewarded from the trading volume on Plasma Swap, and just because of hype of each of these IDO projects on our launchpad. So that's much more profitable for you to hold in the XPPay than LP tokens of the pool, for example. Is there any plans to migrate PPay to another layer 1? Yes, you know, we have a plan with the Hyperloop to integrate the Binance Smart Chain. And that will means for the PPay that as we move in part of our infrastructure on the Binance Smart Chain, we also build in the bridge between Ethereum, PPay, and Binance Smart Chain PPay. So yeah, I think the first layer maybe will be a Binance, but the second layer, as I said, we also now building the bridges with the Hyperloop to the second layers on the Ethereum, like Optimism, for example, and the PPay will also be available on the Optimism very soon. So yeah, also the question about the vesting and lockup for the public investors. So as I said, that will be set by the project, by each project itself. Some of this vesting period can be pretty short, like a few days, but somebody can decide to make it like a month, for example, just to save the token and provide this health growth on the market without any sell pressure. I see the goal of bringing DeFi to the masses mean that people can use the fiat on ramp to turn their paycheck into crypto and then use a Plasma Bank card to purchase goods on local stores via cryptocurrency. Yeah, the question about maybe the fiat on ramping and our card program. So that also part of the system that we're working on the Plasma Pay side now. So as you know, we have a Plasma Pay product separate, and we have a separate team who's working on Plasma Pay. So Plasma Pay now is fully integrated with the card processing and different e-wallets and providing the fiat on ramping for the crypto. And also now the team working on the card issuing and providing you with a card product on Plasma Pay. So when it will be more like realistic in terms of any dates, we will announce the card program also. So yeah, I see the hands. So yeah, let's give people to ask ability to ask me questions by voice. Hi, you can speak.
Hi, Ilia. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah. Hi. How are you?
Hi. I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. Thank you, and thank you for leading this project. I think it's a fantastic project, and I've been here since the pre-sale. So I just want to ask you. It looks like to me that you are banking on Spaceport to bring in all the traders and even the liquidity to the whole ecosystem. So I just want to say that it's a great idea. Actually, Spaceport should have been done way earlier. But what I want to ask is, what if Spaceport doesn't work out and they don't come? What is your next, or what is your plan B? Yeah, so that's my question.
Yeah, thank you, Deepak, for the question. So yeah, so the Spaceport, as I mentioned, this is just a small features on top of the platform that can provide for the project in the future, ability to just raise the funds in decentralized way, open the pools on Plasma Swap, and etc. So that's just a small puzzle of whole Plasma.Finance infrastructure. So it can be like it can be super successful, or maybe it can fail. We don't know, but we do our best to make it super successful. But even this project, it's not too much kind of influence on the whole infrastructure, because as you know, we building a lot of verticals on the DeFi market to become #1 platform in the whole DeFi space. So we're building a lot of for DEXs, we're building a lot of for analytic tools, we're building some protocols for side chains and second layers. So all these verticals at the end will be building on the platform, and they provide the whole spectrum of features and tools on one platform for DeFi traders and DeFi community. So we are targeting to become #1 DeFi platform, and all this just a small puzzles of all this infrastructure. So I think till the end of 2021, we will finalize all our brilliant ideas and protocols. It all will be on one platform with the cross chains, hyperloops and gas station, all this together, and it will bring us on the first place on the whole DeFi market, because we just aggregate all the liquidity from the different places, and we will route this liquidity through the Plasma.Finance platform. So the next question come from Amir. Amir, go ahead.
Hello. Okay. Hello. Hi.
Hi, Amir.
How are you? First of all, thank you for this, and I love this project, and you do a great job. I love what you do with this project. Yeah, I'm here already. I on this project like 3-4 months. Yeah, just now the IDO, just now it's kind of people less like it. I don't know how you said it's not work so well, and I see it's going down also in a paid network. It's not so, I mean, it was before more popular, so, but now it's kind of less and people less like it, so I don't know how it can help to your project. And when and about the Hyperloop, when it will be released, because if you go, let's say, later Ethereum, you know, release the cheaper gas fee. So what will be? I mean, if you release it then, so what is the impact of the Hyperloop? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, in terms of different launch pads and IDO, it's becoming less and less successful. I think the main point of that, because of all these IDO launchpad platforms, they're super centralized. And now they taken on board is like a very low quality projects that doesn't have any like good ideas, good tech team, products, like anything. They just taking it from the bottom and raising a ton of money for this project. So that's just because they're not very like selective in terms of projects, and they need to compete with other launchpad, other centralized launchpad to get their place under the sun. So the Spaceport only focus on the solid and high quality and big products, big working products. So that, as I said, will help us to bring a huge community from a new projects and protocols that we'll do in the IDO on our platform, and also bring a lot of liquidity on the Plasma swap for traders and for raising the volume for PPay incentive program. So that means this is a kind of strategy, because now market is still super hot and we see a lot of new projects and protocols coming on this market. So we will choose just a super solid project and we'll bring them on launchpad, they raise the money, and they will stay with the Plasma.Finance infrastructure forever. So that's kind of also part of marketing strategy, because you know the marketing now is pretty expensive. So that much more effective to do marketing with other projects to bring the attention of the people and to bring a new community to Plasma.Finance. So I think that will really help for the whole Plasma.Finance infrastructure adoption. And in terms of Hyperloop, in terms of Ethereum proof of stake and etc. So Ethereum post consensus, I was expected this consensus since 2017, and I participated in the first Plasma development, and I saw how the Vitaly developed all this infrastructure and developed the post consensus and all this stuff around the Ethereum. So now I see that they're pretty close to the releasing, and maybe it will happen this year. But the release of the Ethereum proof of stake, it has nothing with the Hyperloop and nothing with the risks for our product. Because first of all, the Plasma.Finance itself and all the products of Plasma.Finance is based on the Ethereum. So that means that all our protocols, all our DEXs and wallets and anything that we build, it will get all the benefits from the Ethereum proof of stake. And it will also help an adoption of all DeFi market and Plasma.Finance in general. Also, the Hyperloop, this is a bridge. This is a bridge to another blockchains, another layer one, another second layer solutions. So that means that people still need the bridges. For example, now you have a Binance Smart Chain and the Ethereum, and you have a very limited amount of bridges, and most of them is centralized. So also a solving problem of the bridging these two blockchain is like pretty challenging and important for the whole market. So the Hyperloop will be a connector between the different blockchains. For some of them, Hyperloop will solve the problem of moving the liquidity between chains. For some users, it will solve the problem of the gas fees. For some of them and some protocols, it's open a new liquidity stream to their protocols. So the Hyperloop itself, it has a lot of use cases, and there is like zero risk with the Ethereum proof of stake consensus, because it's just empower the whole Plasma.Finance infrastructure. So I think I answered this question, or we can continue our discussion in our Telegram chat. So let's talk with Kelechi.
Hi, Ilia, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. This is Kelechi eBay. I go by eBay KC, crypto as Telegram. First of all, congratulations on the launch of Spaceport. It looks really good. I'm really excited about it. So I have two quick questions. So the first one is, since I'm hearing like when it comes to the IDO, we're gonna have one where we actually control the quality of projects that gets into the IDO, and then we have this other part where it's decentralized, where anybody can participate. Yeah. So would there be some kind of differentiation in a platform that says, okay, this is really vetted by PPay, by Plasma,
yep,
and these other ones are just like, you know, decentralized, gotta be careful, and you have to do your own research to make sure you don't, you know, support like a very bad project. So that's my first, yep, question. My second question is regards to liquidity. I've noticed that most, you know, like popular like swaps, you know, like the Pancake swap, Matic right now, like they're doing a lot of incentivization when it comes to providing liquidity. So is there any plans in the future to provide, to create some kind of incentive where, for example, people can provide liquidity for Aave or ePair, and in exchange they get like a PPay, you know, like a PPay incentive? Mm-hmm. So is there any plan to do something like that in the future?
Okay, yeah, thank you, Kelechi, for your questions. Appreciate it. So in terms of Spaceport, so yeah, we will have, as I said, projects that supported and vetted by Plasma.Finance itself. So the page that I showed you before, this page will be for the project that kind of vetted by us. So the project that self-made it, we will have a separate page when the project will have a kind of attention notice that all this project, they have in their own self-made IDO, and you need to do your own research before you do any investments. So that's also kind of democratization of IDO market, because you don't need to wait in the line on the Polka starter, for example. You can just launch your IDO in fully like decentralized way and raise money as much as you need. And don't ask anyone about that, because you're a solid project. But if you're now solid project, the only one way where you can go, it's a CoinList. And CoinList is a fully like centralized platform. So there is no any decentralized way of having your IDOs. And you have to go on the centralized platforms, like, you know, many of them, and staying in the line, waiting and becoming one of the many projects that they do in the IDO on this week. So that's not very cool for the good projects, and they just decide not to go on any IDO platforms, and they just launch themselves in kind of silent on their own platform. So now we become this decentralized platform for self-made IDO. That means anyone can build their own IDO, but any investor should make their own research on the project, and project itself should do all the marketing and community building to bring all these investors on the platform. So we will not support or help them anyhow about that. So in terms of incentive program, so incentive-wise by itself, it was made by SushiSwap first time, and then other protocols just copied this way of incentive of liquidity farming and mining. And we did like before we planned to have a liquidity mining and for our pool pairs on Plasma Swap, but then we saw that SushiSwap almost stopped their liquidity mining program. The 1inch, I think, failed their liquidity mining program, and other big protocols, they stopped like just dropping the tokens on the market, trying to bring the liquidity, because, for example, in 1inch case, they drop a lot of tokens for the incentive, and they get like 10,000% of liquidity growth. And on the next day, when they finish their incentive program, they have this 10,000% drop of the liquidity. So liquidity should come in more like organic way. So that means, for example, in the case with the Spaceport, the project will provide this liquidity on the Plasma Swap, and also the project will provide their own liquidity mining for their own pool on the Plasma Swap. That means that the project itself will create additional incentive program for their pools to grow the trading volume, and from the trading volume, the PP holders will get their own incentive. So I think that's a more like, I think, organic and native way of growing the liquidity on the platform. And also it's more healthy for the token itself, because you don't like drop and like airdrop in this token to the market and creating this like a sell pressure from the liquidity providers. It's just growing natively with the adoption of the platform. And now we building all these features together just to bring a lot of people on the platform, create this huge volume, trading volume on the platform, and share the piece of it with the PPA holders who stake the PPA. So let's talk with Numari. Numar.
Hello,
Hi.
hope you're well.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, just two quick questions. Firstly, I wanted to ask, are we only expecting the announcement for the IDO this month, or are we actually expecting the launch of the IDO this month as well? And secondly, for Hyperloop, is it still scheduled for Q2? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. Yeah, in terms of IDOs, yeah, we're expecting announcement and launch of IDOs in the May on the Spaceport. I think we start maybe 15 or 20 on 20th of May. I think it will be already IDOs on the platform. And in terms of Hyperloop, I think in the gas station Hyperloop, we delaying it till summer, and depends on the market, on the Uniswap v3, on the updates of the Ethereum network, and updates of the second layer solution, because it's all connected together. Then we will decide which will be the best months for the launching. Maybe we start with the launching of beta version of protocol, of the both protocols, in the mid of summer, and finalize the whole like production version and the in the end of the summer. So let's also read some questions from the chat, because yeah, I see a lot of people wanna also asking something there. Yeah, you mentioned last week about something about Hyper before Hyperloop. Yeah, there will be another hidden project that we called also Hyper, but yeah, we will announce it later in May. It will be like pre-product before the Hyperloop, Hyper something in a May. Yeah, I'm also very excited because yeah, we're doing a lot of like cool stuff that nobody did on the market, and even not planning to do, but that's like each of these features that really given a lot of like the whole development of Ethereum infrastructure, and many of the features that you will see on the Plasma.Finance that will be unique on the market. That's how we expect the Plasma.Finance adoption at the end, and all the people will choose even the Plasma swap and Plasma.Finance and trade even the Uniswap v3 with the Plasma.Finance, because we building now interesting features around v3. So that's also will be a kind of killer features on Plasma.Finance. So depends of all this like market events, because we're also trying to track all this and be in a trends. So if the Uniswap v3 come in this month, maybe part of next month, we will also allocate for the some of the feature in around the v3 just to attract more users on the Plasma.Finance platform. Question from YouTube: will there be tiers for XPP holders location, or is just 20K XPP? Yeah, for the first IDOs, we will have just one tier of 20K XPP. If we will see that this model working, then we will add the different tiers like 10, 20, 50,000 of XPP. And also depends on the PPA price, because if the price will grow, then I think we will decide just to drop a little bit the ticket price for the IDOs, just to allow more people to participate in the sale. Will the US be able to participate in the prepaid IDOs? That will be like, that will depend by the project itself, because if the project has its own whitelist, they do the KYC, and probably they will cut all these US citizens from the participation. But if the project is fully open without any whitelist, then anyone just with a Ethereum wallet, they can participate. So that means that some of the project will have like a fully open IDO without any limitations in terms of countries. Okay, let's talk with the last person, Berta, and I think we need to finish for today. Berta?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Hi.
Okay, awesome. Hi, pleasure to get to speak with you. Love what you're doing and everything. I was just wondering though, going back to the incentives. So you talked about sushi swap and stuff, but then how does pancake swap? You know, if you farm pancake, they're giving like almost 100%, 98%, or their liquidity pools are giving like 200%. So it seems to be working really well for pancake swap. So what makes them different from some of these other ones that it doesn't seem to be working as well?
Yeah, I think they make some difference in the people who backed their swap, the CD, because you know they just spent a ton of money on the pancake swap, and like developing this swap as a competitor of Uniswap and the whole DEX ecosystem of Ethereum blockchain. So I think with the support of the Binance and CZ, they can provide like a ton of incentive for the people, because they can just burn like $1 billion and bring with this money more liquidity on their pools. But this is all like kind of temporary, because the smart money, the smart liquidity, they come on the pancake swap just to get these rewards, and then they go away back to Uniswap because they like more decentralized infrastructure. So I think it's all kind of temporary until they can burn all this money, burn the tokens, and create this massive incentivized. Even maybe you remember on the Pancake IPO platform, all the projects that raised the money there, they just burn 50% of their money to buy back the Pancake tokens and burn them also. So there's just like a very crazy model that can be implemented on the very rich infrastructure like Binance Smart Chain and Pancake Swap. So as you know, we have a very limited token supply for the market. We can do another emission of PPay, so it's a limited, and also half of this token we reserve for the governance. That means when the governance will be switched on, you will decide how you want to utilize these tokens, or you want to provide them to like incentivize the community and token holders, or you want to provide them to incentivize the liquidity providers, or you want to invest these tokens in the new protocols on the Plasma.Finance. So we reserve most of these incentive tokens just for our governance for the future, and don't want to just burn it on this kind of temporary incentive program for liquidity providers. I hope you understand us. But I also happy to discuss all these things, because you have your own experience, your own vision on the market, and I'm happy always to discuss it in our Telegram chat. I read in everything you write in there, even if you're fighting with something, and yeah, that make us stronger. I mean, all our kind of solutions, all our recommendations to us, I try to implement anything I can in the product, and try to be maybe faster in development, but as you see, we developed like a whole new DeFi market in one place. So that's a bit challenging and complicated, but we do our best. We work in 24/7. It's a deep night right here, and I'm still on the calls, and tomorrow also. So yeah, we work in as hard as possible to make this project successful, and I hope you will support us for a long term. Thank you one more time for the time being with me today, and yeah, appreciate your support, and looking forward to talking with you in our Telegram chat. Also support our Spaceport, Twitter and Telegram, and hope we will see you soon. The next CMA session, I think, will be in a week when we release our limit orders, and I will be happy to present how it all will work. So thank you and bye-bye. Have a good day, evening, morning. Yeah, also all the questions you can forward back to Telegram chat, and I try to answer them in the text mode, if you don't mind. Thank you all. Bye-bye. Take care.